that you would divide the smallest f of x by the largest g of x. If you're dividing f of x by g of x and you want to get the smallest possible value, and you've got a range of values for f of x from here to here, you're going to use the smallest one, right? Because the smaller f of x is for a given g of x, the smaller your h of x is going to be, right? And you're going to use the biggest g of x because the biggest g of x will go into whatever your smallest f of x is fewer times than any other, right? Okay? So, I'm going to draw these intervals again. So here's our interval of f of x values, and here's our interval of g of x values. Which f of x are we going to use? Where in this interval is the value of f of x that we want to use?
The one
Okay,
closer to 0.
so we use
The smaller one.
this x of x, it's the smallest. And we use this g of x, which is the largest. Okay? So what do we get? What do you estimate we get if we divide this f of x value by this g of x value?
Where are the g of x values
I'm sorry?
on that graph? Where are the g? How do you get the g of x?
Here are the values of g of x, right? Because you're confining your x values to this interval, right? Okay, well, if you're at this point of this interval, your g of x value is here, right?
Because you're going to go up until you touch the line and then go
And if you're at this end of the interval, your g of x value is down here, just by projections. So we have to understand that, but I assume we understand that because we've kind of emphasized that for a while now, okay? Yeah, that was the exercise that, I'm not sure when you handed that in, maybe you just did, but anyhow. Okay? Make sense? We have to understand that why this interval is your interval of g of x values and this is your interval of f of x values. Okay? And we understand that by understanding what it means to take an x and project up to the graph or down to the graph and then over to the y-axis. That gives us the value of that function, right? Okay? So that's something I hope we've established. If I find that we haven't, we'll come back and I'll make up a whole bunch more problems until I get the right problems and you get the right understanding. Okay? But hopefully we understand that picture. Okay? And if not, I just explained it. Take a look at the video. Okay? Okay. So, again, our f of x values occur here. Our g of x values occur here. And the f of x value we use is this one. The g of x value we use is this one. And the question is, what do we get if we divide this value by this value, just looking at it visually? Estimating.